Hello, I'm Rod Raglan. This is Not Your Family, Not Your Friend book reviews, where you'll find conflict of interest-free reviews of the work of self-published authors, as well as tips about writing, including reviews on books on that same topic. This is part 5 of how I came to write my novels, and is about my 5th book, Forest, Love, Loss, Legend. I'm hoping you might pick up some marketing insights, mostly what doesn't work, writing tips about themes and motivation, and empathy from someone who is traveling the same road as you and has had likely less success. My 5th novel, Forest, Love, Loss, Legend, was being written in my head before even I put anything on paper. More specifically, that is written on my laptop. It was a residual of past works. Left over from the big picture, a camera, a young woman, an uncompromising ethic, was my research into the drug war in Mexico, which my heroine Freya covered as a photojournalist. I'd also done some investigating of failed states and civil wars throughout Africa, where she was going on her next assignment. Added to that is my fascination with war correspondents and how they cope with a steady diet of death, destruction, chaos, and hopelessness. I also wanted to delve deeper into intimate relationships. What attracts us? What keeps us engaged? And what are the impediments to a long-lasting relationship? I touched on this in my previous novels with the turbulent romances between Freya and Marty, Freya and Miguel in The Big Picture, and Dieter and Maggie in Not Wonder More, Mad Maggie and the Mystery of the Ancients. I wanted to explore further how different values, different cultures, timing, and circumstances impact on how, who, and when we fall in love, and if it lasts. I set this book in the Pacific Northwest of Canada, perhaps one of the few areas on the planet where there are still vast tracts of wilderness. And as my hero, Matt Bennett, says, it was easy to imagine no human has ever set foot 100 meters on either side of the road. Species could come to life, thrive, and die without anyone except God knowing they ever existed. This is a land of legend and mystery. And if you're born and raised here and take an interest in wild things and wild places, as I do, well, there's no end to fascinating tales with just enough substantiated fact to whet the imagination. 2 of these legends laced with facts I've incorporated into this story. Here's a blurb that introduces the book. Matthew and Raminder are young, idealistic, and in love. As soon as they can, they plan to leave behind the small town and small mines of Pitt Landing. They will embrace life and experience the world, maybe even change it. Man plans, God laughs. Raminder's father has a stroke, and her commitment to her family means she must postpone her plans and stay in Pitt Lake. It's just the opposite for Matt. A family tragedy leaves irreconcilable differences between him and his father and forces him to leave. They promise to reunite, but life happens. 12 years later, Matt is an acclaimed war correspondent. He's seen it all, and it's left him with a post-traumatic syndrome, a gastric ulcer, and an enlarged liver. He's never been back to Pitt Landing, and though the memory of Raminder and their love has more than once kept him sane. He's at his desk in the newsroom, recuperating from his last assignment and current hangover, and reading a letter from his father, the first contact they've had in over a decade. It talks about a legendary lost gold mine, a map leading to it, and proof in a safety deposit box back in Pitt Lake. He sent it to Matt in case something happens to him, and cautions his son to keep it a secret. Matt is about to dismiss the letter when the telephone rings. It's telling him his father has disappeared somewhere in the wilderness that surrounds Pitt Lake. lost gold, lost love, and lost hope compel Matt to return home to Pitt Landing, a dying town on the edge of the rainforest on the west coast of Canada. Will he find any of these, or does something else await him? This novel also gave me an opportunity to revisit one of my central themes, the environment, specifically the protection of endangered species and forest conservation. Quite inadvertently, it also turned out to be a mystery. Forest, Love, Loss, Legend was released with no expectations. Sales have been dismal, despite a handful of very flattering reviews. Perhaps because it was told from only one point of view, Forest was easy to write. Too easy. I resolved that my next book, Abandoned Dreams, would be more challenging in format and content. By the way, this is not a commercial site. I'm not interested in accumulating likes or subscribers to influence advertisers or get free books or whatever. But I am interested in your comments. What motivates you to write? Whatever it is, keep writing and remember what Nietzsche said. Art is a proper task in life. Thanks.